Hey everyone, it's Ruffle. Today we are going to cover some basics in Photoshop. I'm going to split this into multiple videos so that it's easy to find, easy to digest, and you don't end up with an hour tutorial to sit through. Through these tutorials, going to cover a couple of different things. First up, this is going to be the introduction. Going to cover some setup, going to cover some resources and basic composition. For the second video, we'll move into some setting up the background and some textures. Next, we'll move into some effects and C4Ds. We'll then move into some lighting and some depth. And finally, we'll do some finishing touches to the tag, and we'll also work through some text. Okay, without further ado, I do have a render that I've picked here, but just for sake of starting from complete scratch, I'll start again. So just new. Now the size of the tag, the typical size on your tone tag for a profile sake will be 600, say 300. Myself and many others of the more experienced artists will start with a larger canvas. The reason behind this, when you have a larger canvas, you can work in detail a lot better when you're closer up and you have higher resolution, and then you can simply scale down to whatever your desired tag is at the end of it. So a size that I've liked using recently is 1800 by 700, and that's what you'll see in the background here. So I'm just going to drag in what I've already done here. So this is just, so you can see, here's the stock that I chose, and I've already just rendered it out. I don't think anyone wants to see me cut a render on a tutorial. So we've got that in. Notice that my render is on a smart layer. Smart layer is really good. It essentially means that you can adjust that at any point in time. You can add effects to it, you can add whatever you want to it, you can scale it up and down without losing resolution. So if you scaled it down and then later on you decide, oh, no, I actually want it to be bigger again, you can scale it back up and you'll still keep that original resolution that you had, which is a big difference from a standard layer. To set up the smart layer, you just go to, I'll do it here to my second one, so right click, convert to smart object. Now it's a smart layer. To edit inside that smart layer, double click, it'll open up a new window. So say you wanted to remove the background, I always would recommend to, before removing the background, set it up as a smart layer first. You generate better outputs from doing that. And this is why I pre-cut this, because I did this earlier and it was giving me that, so I just cut that out. To save, you want to just file, save. This will save your smart layer onto the canvas, so you can X out of that window again, and now that's what we just did. So I do want to keep that background, so I'm going to Control Z to undo that. Okay, another thing that I wanted to cover here is, I guess, finding these resources. So I've got a couple of tabs open here at the moment. Ignore my torrent account. One of the best resource spots that I like to use is DeviantArt. DeviantArt is essentially just a collection of photos, art, AI, everything from across the world. It's full of really, really good stuff. The only issue with DeviantArt is you will have to spend some time to, I guess, fine-tune the algorithm to stuff that you like. So I spent quite a lot of time going through DeviantArt, making sure to favorite things that I like. The algorithm will then learn from your preferences, and it will start suggesting things that are more relevant for you, and also make sure you're following people that you like their stuff too. So like even here on my first homepage, there's a couple of nice things. Let's look at this, for example. That could be a really cool texture. One thing when I'm looking at things like this, I'll look at the size of it. So that's really big, which is great for using as a texture. It also has a free download here, which is great. So I've already added it to my favorites here, but on DeviantArt I set up a couple of different folders. So I keep some resource packs here for a handy link to. I keep a folder of textures, I keep a folder of tutorials, and I keep a folder for stocks. This is already in my textures folio. So you go to your profile, favorites, textures, and here is all the textures that I've saved for myself that I can come back to and use whenever I want. Really, really useful platform, and saves you from having to download a million things if space is something that you're worried about. So having a quick look through, I guess some of this, and I also got this stock that I'm going to use today off DeviantArt. You can see lots of really cool stock image potential. That could be cool. That could be used as a nice render. But yeah, definitely recommend setting up a DeviantArt account if you haven't already, and start, I guess, programming the algorithm to suggest things for you that you want to find. DeviantArt is also a really good place for finding C4Ds. So if I put in abstract C4D, you can see a bunch of packs that you can download. Some really cool ones here. Lots of really good packs. We also have a heap of C4Ds on the Discord Lounge server. But just if you're looking for some more, I frequently spend a lot of time looking for C4Ds, and I recommend other people do as well if that's something that you're interested in doing. But yeah, that's DeviantArt in a nutshell. Another resource that I like to use is Pinterest. Pinterest is really good for stocks and really good for textures in particular. Again, same setup with the algorithm. Pinterest will suggest things for you based on the things that you add to your favorites. So you need to hop onto Pinterest to spend a bit of time liking things that you find interesting or that you want to use, and then your homepage will start generating a whole bunch of stuff based on what it knows you like. Lots of really cool stocks here, lots of really cool textures. Even like these kind of the paint textures. Similar setup to how DeviantArt works. You can make yourself some folders. So I've got one for stocks, got one for textures, got one for text. This is kind of, I guess, finishing touches that I keep a folder for. Some like little effects kind of things. Ignore my tattoos. And my dark architecture collection. That's pretty much all I've got here, but that's the basics, and that'll cover you. Okay, so that's the basic setup. That's part 1. I'll see you in part 2.